Hello everyone, welcome to this workshop. My name is Savvy. I teach voice feminization, voice masculinization. I also teach stuff such as human beatboxing, and a lot of sounds that have to do with the human voice. So today we're going to be working on how to feminize, how to masculinize the voice, and yeah, everything good on your end, Alistair? Awesome, thank you. All right, so first things first, I have to make a little disclaimer on safety, on how to use your voice. Make sure that whenever you're going to do an intense or at least somewhat strenuous session for your voice, when you're going to practice with your voice, make sure that you are nicely hydrated. Drink water. Water is paramount. No, I'm sorry, no Monster energy drink will cut it here. You have to hydrate using H2O, okay? So, with that in mind, some medication that you might be taking, such as spironolactone, has has a potential to dry up your voice. So be mindful that if you take Spiro, it can dry out your voice a little bit. I'm not saying stop taking Spiro. I'm saying you should try and work around these events that can dry out your voice. Talking about things that can dry out your voice as well, common things, smoking, alcohol, generally do dry up the voice quite a lot. And a dry voice is a voice that might fatigue quicker, that might end up being heard more quickly. So be sure that you always try and work around that when you want to practice your voice. Okay, so that's being said. All right, what's the time real quick? Okay, we got 5 minutes. So I'll do a little rundown on what voice is and how voice works, so that we all work on the same theory, on the same terms, with the same wording. So, very simply put, what is voice? Well, we base ourselves off the PSF model. So the PSF model is the power source filter model. Very simple. You got lungs. They produce air. Well, they don't produce air, but you know what I mean. You push air from your lungs up to your Adam's apple. We call this space the larynx, okay? And when that air arrives at that larynx, it sets the vocal folds in motion. So you might call them vocal cords as well, but it sets the vocal folds in motion and creates a vibration. That vibration will then resonate within a resonance chamber, which we call the vocal tract. And that's all you need to know. To change the gender of the voice, we're mostly going to be focusing on the source and on the filter component. By changing the source, we can get many types of different sounds. If you open the vocal folds more, you can get a whisper. If you open them a little bit less, you get a breathy sound. If you close them properly and balance them with the amount of air that you push, well, you get this voice, or most of your voices, right? Just a balanced voice that isn't breathy, not too open. Or if you close it more, you can get what we call creak, or vocal fry in other terms. So that's for the source sound. To change the gender of the voice, to change the source is, for example, we can change the pitch, how high the pitch is. So if we got like a really, really low pitch, we're going to have a more masculine voice. If we got like a really, really high pitch, we're going to have a more feminine voice. Okay. And we can also change how much weight or how much vocal fold mass we use with our voice with the source. So if we use like a low amount of mass, we get a really soft voice, which is something that we're going to prefer using for more feminine voices. And if you use like a lot of vocal fold mass, you get a more heavier sound, which is going to be more useful for masculine voices. All right. And then, of course, the filter. Then, of course, the filter, which is going to be the most important thing to change. We call it the resonance as well. We call it the vocal tract size. And it's going to be how big or how small the whole space is. Effectively, by changing how high or how low the larynx is, we can change the size of that resonance chamber and achieve much darker sounds or much brighter sounds. Okay? And that's all you need to know. We're going to talk about resonance, vocal tract size. We're going to talk about vocal fold mass, whether we have a really heavy vocal fold mass or a really light vocal fold mass. We're going to be talking about pitch. That's something that everyone knows. It's the melody. It's how high or how low it is. And that's pretty much it. So we got a bit more time. So, very simply put, if you are looking to feminize your voice, you want to do 3 things. These 3 things are going to be raise the pitch, raise the resonance, or make the vocal tract size smaller, and also make the vocal fold mass a little bit lighter. So we have a less likeliness to have a buzzy sound, less heavy sound. If you're looking to masculinize the voice, on the other hand, it's the complete opposite. You want to lower the pitch, you want to
Make the resonance darker, so make the size bigger, and you want to make the vocal folds thicker to achieve like a more boomy, more buzzy sound.
Okay? That's pretty much it. So yeah, that's all we had to know about voice. Pitch, resonance or vocal tract size, vocal fold mass, or how heavy or how light the voice is, and yeah, some other stuff such as closure or airflow are going to be relevant if we want to get a breathy voice, a creaky voice, and a lot of other textures in the voice. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to ask someone who wants to feminize their voice to raise their hand, come closer, and you can come up on stage. Okay, I see a bunch of people jumping. I'm going to go for you, Daymeisen. Hop on stage. Come on. All right, applause for it. Oh, are you okay? Oh, you want to move up on stage? Oh, we have some technical difficulties walking here. Yeah, let's go. All right, applause to Daymeisen. I probably butchered your name. I'm sorry, by the way. So, welcome. We got 10 minutes starting now, whenever my fingers know how to push the button. There we go. All right, welcome. Feminize your voice, right? Mm-hmm. All right, awesome. So, what we need to do is the 3 main things that we talked about: resonance, pitch, and vocal weight. But first, before we do any of this, have you done any voice training prior to this?
I was here for the last one, but I
Okay.
didn't have anything or practice.
Have you tried anything on your own, perhaps?
No.
No? Okay, that's fine. Let's try this together then. So, make sure that your voice settings are as follows. So I know you're like in a push-to-talk situation here, but make sure that you don't have noise suppression activated on VR chat. So just go to like your audio menu and check that noise suppression is turned off. And if you've done this, make sure that the mic activation threshold is all the way to the left. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Perfect. So, can you give me a really quiet whisper? Just say something like, hello. Okay, cool. So now what I want you to try and say is you're going to say, pat that cat, but on a whisper. So, pat that cat. Try it out. Awesome. So now we're going to try and make that darker, like really dark, like,
Oh, pat that cat. Oh yeah, that's way better.
okay, not super dark. It's all right. What I want you to do is take your hand, and IRL, of course. Take your hand here and put it up your neck. Can you feel the bump on your neck? Adam's apple?
Mine isn't very prominent.
Not very prominent? That's all right. If you yawn, like, can you feel something move down, perhaps?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, cool. So hone in on that feeling of the larynx, okay? So So now try this. You can try and say, pat that cat, and go from really dark to really bright. Kind of like this.
Pats, pats,
Pat, pat, pat. Okay, good, good. That's the right idea. So from there, try to hold that ah sound, that ah whisper, pat, 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 and then, okay, like a hiss.
All
Right, awesome. It's okay. No, no, you did great. You did great. Now I want to see how high you can go in pitch. Can you match my pitch here? All right, let's try this. Awesome, perfect. And from here, that's already a pitch that can be feminized. Pat that cat. See? So you can already do quite a bit of that. So now what we need to do is we're going to want to combine the two things here. Take that high pitch, and take that high resonance, pat, 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 and bridge into the high pitch. Pat that cat. Give it a try.
Pat that cat.
Okay, nice, very good. Let's try and get some sentences to practice this some more. Okay, can you see the board up there?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, can you see that first sentence? That mad brat sat on that flat mat?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now I want you to try again what you did, but instead of saying pat that cat, you're going to say that whole sentence. So let me give you the example. Oh, sure, go ahead, go ahead. You know what? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Oh, that's mad brat.
The mad brats on the flat mat.
Okay, that mad brat sat on that. A bit quiet, a bit creaky, but that's okay. That's the right idea. So you have like a bright sound, you have like a high pitch. It's already sounding quite femme. You just have to maybe be a little bit more stable with it. Maybe we can try and make the sound a little bit louder, okay? Such as, for example, we can do like little taps. We call them glottal attacks or glottal taps. So it's basically like doing like ah, 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 ah. That can help us strengthen our voice a little bit, right? So let's try that. Raise your resonance with the whisper, go into the ah sound, and then do little taps like ah, ah, ah. Okay? Okay, good. And from there, ah, ah, ah. That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
The mad brats on the flat mat.
Okay, cool. So, you need to do the whisper again because I feel like you lost a little bit of that resonance that we had at the start. So make sure that you first start with the whisper. So, pat, 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 ah, 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 ah. Go for it.
The mad brats on the flat mat.
Oh, sorry. Very good, very good. Try to do the next sentence. Let's see. Ah, the crowbar opened the subpar car. Try it out.
The crowbar opened the subpar car.
Okay, the crowbar opened the subpar car. We lost a little bit of that resonance. It's okay. Here's a little tip. If you feel like you are not going to hit the right resonance right off the bat, first try to whisper the whole sentence. Listen closely. If I do this,
The crowbar opened the subpar car.
sounds super masculine as a whisper, right? So that whisper, of course, if I transitioned to a full voice, would end up sounding like,
The crowbar. Oh, the crowbar opened the subpar car.
so you see that if you have like a dark whisper, your larynx is going to be very low. You're going to have a very big space available. That creates a very dark masculine sound. So what you want to do here is really get the whisper to already sound bright, sound femme. So try to
The crowbar.
the crowbar, the crowbar. Try that out. Nice. Okay. Can you say the whole sentence? Yeah, that was great.
The
Awesome. Sounded like a femme whisper. Now we just need to go back to the full voice so that we can get that whisper to carry over, well, into a full femme voice. So let's try this. The crowbar opened the subpar car. Ah, the crowbar opened the subpar car. Try it out.
The crowbar opened the subpar car. The crowbar opened the subpar car.
Okay, good, good. It's maybe a little bit harder because like we have like the O sound. It's a pretty dark sound. It was definitely easier with the A sound. So with practice, you will get no problem to a higher resonance, to a more femme sound. I think we had like a really good result with the A sound. It's to be expected. A is a brighter sound, and A as in bar is always going to be darker. So
I also have
This
a
is
speech
kind of-
impediment
oh, what is it?
with R's.
With R's, oh, like the English R, I would assume?
Yeah, like ER is where I mess up.
ER. So subpar or subpar? I mean, there's so many R sounds, so it's hard to say. But yeah, oh. Doo. All right, our time is up, I am afraid, but this is interesting because what we saw here is that you got pretty damn bright, excuse the wording, pretty bright on the A sound, on the mad brat sat, on the flat mat. That was really femme sounding. I feel like maybe it's because you're upstage, there's maybe a bit of stage fright. That was maybe a bit hard for you to do, but I hope that I still got across this method, and honestly we got a really good result with that mad brat sat on that flat mat and on pat that cat. I feel like maybe you need to practice different vowel sounds. You know, you have the ah sound as in bar, you have the o sound as in bore, the oo sound as in boot, right? And so all of these different sounds are going to require a different tongue, different lip configuration from your voice, and so it's something that you want to practice, definitely recording yourself, listening back, and then repeating the exercise. And yeah, honestly, for a very first time, that was really good. So congrats, St. Meisen. Good job.
Thank you.
Good job.
Applause for St. Meisen. You were really, really brave. Okay. Oh god, I'm lagging. Gee. Okay. Anyhow, next person I want to see upstage is someone who wants to practice masculinizing their voice. So anyone who hasn't gone before, they want to masculinize their voice. Okay. Altitude, come upstage. Come on, come on, come on. All right, applause for Altitude. Okay.
I had some
Alright.
trouble getting up there. Yes.
It's okay, you got up there. It's all that matters. All right. 10 minutes starting now. All right. So you want to.
Masculinize your voice, right?
That's the whole idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go, dude. Yeah. Okay, so. Yeah. I don't know why. Okay. So, you want to masculinize your voice. So you want to do the exact opposite of what we've done so far. So darken your voice, get it to be more buzzy and lower pitch. Have you done any voice masculinization exercises or practice before?
I've like kind of practiced like a little bit. So like on there were like some occasions where like if it's like a crowd or something, I'll be like I'll make my voice a little deeper, just like see where I can get it. But like if I do it for
Okay.
too long, for some reason like in my nose it gets all stuffy and I'm like, huh?
Oh, it's getting all stuffy in the nose. Weird.
It's all stuffy. Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, you're sure it's not like COVID? No?
No, it's not. It's not COVID.
No, it's not. It's not. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
I've never heard of the nose getting stuffy. I mean, perhaps. Okay, perhaps if you, perhaps if you are, I don't know, like stuffy. Does it actually like? Does your nose actually get stuffy, or is it just like
I don't
it
think
feels like you're
I don't
speaking
think that
through the
it's-
nose?
I think what it feels like is it feels like I'm not sure how to describe it. Because like if I talk like this for too long, then I think it's
Yeah,
because I'm
yeah.
taking all of the stuff that was like in here and I'm bringing it into my throat instead. Then it like then like my nose suddenly starts like it's like, hey, you're not breathing or something. I have no idea. I don't know. Like if I do it for
weird.
too long, it's very weird.
Do you
I
stop
don't know.
breathing? Do you stop breathing though?
I stopped
No,
breathing.
okay.
I don't
Stop!
think so. I think for me maybe it's just like I'm taking in too much. Maybe I'm breathing more through my mouth than I am through my nose whenever I'm doing it. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't do it often enough for me to
So, well, interesting that you bring that up because I have just a slide to talk about nasality. Probably
Ew.
is you can look it up here behind you or on your side. To your
Yeah.
right.
Well, I mean,
Right side?
I got my camera, so I got
You got your camera. I got you.
Yeah,
Okay. So like very simply, put, like there's only 3 types of sounds, at least in the English language that I know of, that will require to be nasal. So you will push the sound and the airflow through the nose. So when you say or n or ing, as in mom or no or being, but then there is going to be oral sound, which is like a, e, o, i, u, which are all meant to just go through the mouth only, right? And then you have like, haha, français. You have like nasalized sounds, which are going to be like, and unless you are using an accent in English that portrays some nasal sounds, you're meant to speak mostly through the mouth on most vowels and just use the nasal sounds when you do n. So unless you've noticed like some form of speech impediment or like something strange about your voice, I would not worry too much about that. So yeah,
Alright.
but it's what's nice is I've heard your voice be pretty damn masculine there. So I feel like I feel like I've heard a lot of darkness.
Like I got like a really dark voice. I even like got a pretty low pitch from your voice, but I feel like it was maybe lacking a little bit of weight, like maybe like a little bit more boominess, like that could have like created a more full sound, right?
I feel that that's something that you could have added on top of that.
Yeah.
So I'm stepping on my cables. Let's see. Let's talk about vocal fold mask real quick, right? So, as you can see, we can have 2 different types of configuration, and okay, these are the 2 extremes, and of course, in between you will find, more or less weight. So if you have like a really light voice, and you sound like really soft. In the case of a mask voice,
There would be like a voice like this, like even like at a low pitch, you can have like a really light masculine voice. But we want to increase the vocal folds weight. We want to make them more heavy so that we get like a more boomy sound, right? So we can fill up the extra space that we created by going darker.
okay? And so to achieve that more heavy sound, what do we do? Well, there's several types of exercises we can do to explore that. One can be like to literally do a physical effort. I was telling someone today in another lesson to lift their desk, and they told me, Savvy, my desk is too light. I can't do it. So maybe like push the wall or something that will like trigger like a physical reaction of your body to tense up the muscles. And as you tense up the muscles, there is a chance that the vocal folds can follow. Otherwise, you can also just try it by mimicking the sound or by trying to go a bit louder. Something I have to say here is louder does not necessarily mean heavier, and that's because like you can have like a really really thick voice that's like pretty quiet, like so. Like this is really thick but quiet, and you can have like a really loud voice that's like pretty thin, like pretty light, and it really only depends on how you use it here. But there is a thing which as if you use heavier vocal folds, well, there is more mass in the way, and if you want to set those vocal folds in vibration and sound like a normal voice, I guess, then you're generally going to be louder because there's like more mass in the way, so there's going to be more like sound content created.
Gotcha. All right.
Theory, whatever. Blah 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 theory. Let's go into something more practical for you. Okay, first let's go to like your lowest comfortable pitch. All right. So just give me a slide from really high down to really low. So, okay, yeah. Cool. Can you give me some little taps on this? Can you do like Nice. Now can you try and make that sound softer? Like Okay. And now make that sound thicker. Oh, it's okay. That was great. Yeah. That's it. That's it. You're it. Hell yeah. And from there, can you say something like, pat that cat? Take your time. Take your time.
Wow.
Wow. Let's reset.
Wow.
Pat that cat.
Cat.
Yeah, alright. So now you have had a little bit of resonance increase, right? You have like, pat that cat, instead of the lower resonance we have.
Yeah.
So let's try and, so like this is the whole challenge, right? We want to get heavier sound, which is effectively going to sound fuller, but we also don't want to lose the low resonance that you went for because you wanted to have a darker voice, right?
Yeah.
So like to achieve this is pretty difficult. So I'm gonna change the slide
Really quickly, and now you can see this. Tell me if it's loaded for you. Is it loaded?
Yeah, it's loaded. Yeah.
Yes, awesome. So what I want you to look at here is that we have different glasses of water. Very simply put, if you
make your resonance really low, then you create a very big glass of water, right? So we kind of end up in this underfull hollow voice. The reason why we want to increase the weight of the vocal folds is so that we can fill up the glass with that water.
theoretically, well, this is kind of like an analogy to say the water is going to be how much vocal fold mass you put in your voice. So like you want to go from like a masculine full voice, right? But we don't want to raise the resonance, make the glass smaller as we do, right? It's kind of like the trick, right? Because you're like, okay, heavy vocal folds sound like buzziness, right? But it's not buzziness per se. It's buzziness is kind of like a sound quality that is born from a small glass with too much water. But you can technically achieve a buzzy voice in a femme voice and in a masc voice as well. So it's a bit difficult to like kind of get buzziness and heaviness not conflated, but that's kind of why we're here, so we can learn to do that. So let's try again. Let's go again for your lowest pitch, then go for the lowest resonance. It's not comfortable, right? I don't want your voice to be challenged or in difficult position, otherwise it's going to be really hard for you to increase the weight. So let's go again. After me. Okay, and now Okay, let's make that a bit fuller now. Yeah, nice.
like, are you still dark? Can you say like, pat that cat?
Pat that cat.
Nice. Can you say,
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
I don't think. I think there was like a sing up earlier. Can you bring that back up so I can like remember?
yep. Okay, take a look.
So yeah, the mad brat.
Yeah.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Yeah, nice. Okay, let's make that be a little bit darker.
That mad brat into that mad brat sat on that.
Yeah.
Alright. That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Like this. Nice. That's great.
Yeah.
That mad brat.
Yeah, very full. So like you might feel like it's hard to find a balance, right?
Yeah.
Between like a heavier voice and a voice that's a little bit too dark. So on the long run, you know, you definitely don't want it to be too bright because otherwise like you sound really buzzy and annoying, right? But
You don't
Yeah.
want to be too dark so that people just don't hear you, or like you sound like too hollow.
so it's kind of like a middle ground to find. Yeah, I feel like you got pretty damn like close to that middle ground. So yeah, good job. Keep that up. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Picture of this. Hell yeah! I took a picture of this so
Hell
I
yeah!
could like actually bother practicing later.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah.
If you ever feel like you missed some of the things we talked about, there's going to be a recording on the YouTube channel at Trans Voice Academy.
Awesome.
So yeah. All right.
Guess time's up.
So the time's up. Sorry, altitude, but thanks for coming up stage. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Hey.
And applause.
Well done.
Hell yeah. All right. Now I'll have someone who wants to feminize their voices. I see a lot of people jumping up here. All right. Barbara Cutie, come up stage. Up. Applause. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great myself, thank you. We got 10 minutes starting now. Alrighty, so you want to feminize your voice, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Have you done any exercises or anything on your own before?
So, yeah, to an extent, I have a hard time figuring out what I actually need to do. I had a long, throughout my high school years, I actually had a lot of sessions and stuff for vocal training for voice acting, but I was never able to achieve any form of feminine range.
Okay, today we change this. Okay, so how do we change this? Well, let's see. What's your pitch range? Let's see. Can you go from your lowest pitch to your highest pitch, kind of like this? Oh. Nice, very good. Okay, so now that you've done this, let's see how we can change your resonance. So take a whisper and say, pat that cat.
Pat that cat.
Pat that cat. Right, you're already doing really bright. So let's try and go from really dark to really bright. So let's try and just say pat and do this.
Pat.
Pat, pat, pat.
Pat. Pat.
Pat, pat, pat. Awesome. And from there, hold the ah sound. Pat, pat, ah. Awesome. And now from that ah sound, we go into a full voice. Ah. Ah. Okay, higher pitch, but that works just fine. And from there, say, ah, pat that cat. Ah, pat that cat. All right, that's it. Fem voice. There you go. And you said you've never achieved the fem range. Allow me to doubt. Okay, so now we need to try and say some more sentences. Can you see the sentences up there? Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go through some of these sentences, see if your voice gets challenged at any points by any of these sounds. So let's go. Ah, that mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Ah, that mad brat sat on the flat mat. The
Awesome.
crowbar opened the subpar car. The store
Okay.
doors creaked more on the 4th floor. The new
Okay.
you is no taboo, you grew, it's true.
Nice.
Snowflakes eat kilos of tomato risotto.
Okay,
Us
nice.
acting sus, they made a fuss in the bus.
Ah, not again. Nice.
Don't
keep going.
dread egg with bread. The splished fish wished the glitched pitch. She sees the
Okay.
serene sea feeling free. The nerd
Okay.
misheard the bird's slurred words.
All right, awesome. So that's all really fem, but albeit a bit monotonous. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. The crowbar opened the subpar car. So how do we make that non-monotonous? Well, we need to change some of the pitch, some of the intonation. So this is maybe where your voice ends up breaking. It didn't break on a specific sound, except on the snow flamingos because you said snowflakes. But I get it. No one says snow flamingos. I get it. So what I want you to try and do is try and take that first sentence, that mad rat sat on that flat mat, but you're gonna go from a not a low pitch, but you're gonna start at a certain pitch and go towards a higher pitch, kind of like this. That mad rat sat on that flat mat. Try that.
That mad brat sat on the flat mat.
All right, awesome. And let's try the opposite way around. That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on the flat mat.
Okay, very good. Now let's try to go low, up, low. That's not how it works. Down, up, down. So like this. That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Very good. Now let's try and change the intonation so that it just sounds natural. Okay? So, that mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Awesome! Do you hear yourself? It's really good. Try the next sentence, but this time I won't give you any guidance on the pitch. You kind of try to see and guess how to make that sound a bit more melodic. Okay, try it on the next sentence.
The crowbar opened the subpar car.
Awesome. So this is the first time where I have something to say about your voice. The crowbar opened the subpar car. The car was maybe a bit too low in pitch, so it ended up sounding a bit buzzy, a little bit masculine. Subpar car. But the rest was really good. Okay? So if you feel like your voice is masculine just because of one word, then technically your voice is only a certain percentage masculine. So like, this is like 90% feminine, right? Maybe something I have to say is it might be slightly on the buzzier side. So percent. You got a bright voice, you got a high pitch in the fem range. You even are doing pretty damn great with your intonation, so that's really good. You just want to be careful not to drop too low in pitch, and you want to make sure that you're not too buzzy or too abrasive with your voice. So let's try and change that, because I feel that that's almost more important than working on pitch. Okay. So let's see. I want you to hold a sound. Try and mimic this. Oh.
Oh.
Awesome. Make that really thick, really heavy. Oh.
Oh.
Awesome. And let's go from the heavy to the soft. Oh. Really soft. Oh. Oh. Nice. And now try and keep that same quality. Oh, and say, that mad Brad sat on that flat mat.
Oh, that mad brat sat on the flat mat.
Awesome! That's just so good. Okay, now break the monotony. Make it more intonated. That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That's super good. Awesome. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. Maybe on mat, you dropped the resonance a little bit. Flat mat. Perhaps because you were like, okay, the sentence is over. I can finally drop back down. But, or perhaps it was like a little slip. But, aside of the end of sentences where you might drop the resonance a little bit or might drop the pitch a little bit too low, you're on a really good path to having like a really solid feminine voice. So there you go.
Thank you.
That's pretty much it. What can I say? You're doing great. So yeah, do you have any questions on any of the things we talked here?
No, I just needed a general direction to go in. Thank you so much.
All right, don't be afraid. Go for it. Go for it. Use your voice. You said you're a voice actor, right? Or at least like you took some voice acting classes. Maybe I don't know if this is like if like this is tied into your identity or not. I guess like most people up here, it's it's about using it for our identity. It's not just a voice for fun. So I don't know how much voice dysphoria you might feel regarding this practice, but take it like voice acting. It's a fun voice to use, to do. And yeah, I would really recommend that you record yourself. Record, listen back, and look for the things that feel wrong in your voice. Maybe like listen closely for if your voice is maybe too harsh, too buzzy. That might be too much weight, so you just want to go a bit softer in that case. Or if your pitch is dropping down too low, in which case I recommend that you maybe look up like a pitch monitor software. We have a bunch of them on this slide real quick. You tell me if it's loaded for you. So yeah, there's like a bunch of slides up here. It's loaded, awesome. So it depends. If you're on iOS, I recommend Nail the Pitch. If you're on Android, I recommend Vocal Pitch Monitor. I have a preference for Vocal Pitch Monitor because it only tells you the pitch. It will not tell you, oh, this is like a gendered range or whatever, which is fine, but you mostly need to know where you are at in pitch and kind of learn yourself where pitches are a bit too masculine or not. This is fine, but there is certain pitches there where it says it's a masculine range, but it can very much be just a low feminine voice. Same for a feminine for the other way around. You can absolutely speak with masculine voice at really high pitches. So yeah, I would recommend Vocal Pitch Monitor if you're on Android. If you don't have your phone nearby, Singing Carrots works. And yeah, I'm not sponsored, by the way. This is just the apps I found working with voice. So yeah, there you go. Good job, Barbara. And
Thank
good luck
you.
with the rest. You're welcome. Oh, and thank you in a fem voice. Perfect. Woo! Okay. Now I'll have one more person. I want someone who wants to masculinize their voice. Who is interested? I'm looking on the left side because I always look on the right side. 3 a.m. snack. You want to masculinize your voice? Yeah? Okay. Hop on stage. Come on. Applause for 3 a.m. snack. You can't jump. You gotta go on the stairs over there. Yeah. All right. Welcome. Hello. Hello there. What's up? I hope you are doing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you just fine. All right. We've got 10 minutes starting from now. Okay. So, welcome. You want to masculinize your voice. Is that right?
Yep.
All right. Let's do that. So why don't you show me what your pitch range is made of? Can you go from your highest pitch down to your lowest pitch? Oh, take your time. Try this.
Okay.
Okay, it stops at this pitch.
Yeah.
Okay, can you try and say, hello, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
Awesome, great. I only hear a bit of buzziness. I like that. Now, let's see. Have you already done any voice masculinization before this, or not really?
Yeah, like on and off. I've been slacking.
It's okay. It's fine. Okay. So then let's try and say the word pat the cat. Pat the cat. But make that darker. So pat. Give it a try. Oh,
Wait a minute.
you're changing
I
settings,
adjusted
or?
my settings, yeah.
Okay. Cool. Let's try it again. Pat. Nice. Indeed, I can hear it much better now. Okay, cool. So you get pretty dark. Pat. Now I want you to try and hold that dark ah sound and do pat. Okay, give that a try. Okay, cool. Okay, was that your lowest pitch, or you can go any lower with that?
I try.
Okay, let's try this. Sorry. Blah. Try this out. Okay, can you say?
Yeah, should I in there?
You can try and speak there and say, hello, pat that cat.
Hello, pat that cat.
Nice! Hello, pat that cat. All right, awesome, great. Why don't we do some sentences for practice? All right, try and say, that mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Nice, very good. Okay, let's try and go slide a bit higher and do this. That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Okay, good. So we got a pretty interesting pitch here, but I feel like you might go a bit darker still. So let's try and go dark again with the pat, or actually, let's do it the other way around. We're going to say the sentence in a whisper. Can you say, that mad brat sat on that flat mat?
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
All right, as you hear, your whisper is pretty bright. That mad brat. So let's make that darker. That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Okay, good. That mad brat sat. And from there, go back to the low pitch you had. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. Okay, give it a try.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Okay, so you lost a bit of that resonance there. You went
I did.
back up. So, I feel like you are getting the dark whisper, but you're not keeping it as you speak. I wonder, do you have rather prominent larynx or not that much? Can you feel it on your neck if you put your fingers up there?
I get a little bit. I was
Yeah,
on
okay.
testosterone a bit earlier for a few
Okay.
months.
Oh, okay, okay. Did you stop or?
Yeah, we stopped, but I plan to start again. But yeah,
All
I feel
right,
like I
hell
have
yeah.
had some change to my voice from that.
Yeah, no, I definitely hear that there is a more buzziness in your voice. Like, I can tell that testosterone has maybe thickened the vocal folds a little bit. That's the first thing that struck me when I heard your voice. Now, I feel like, yeah, you can get a dark resonance. I heard it with the whispers, but you struggle yet to carry it over into a full voice, right? So that's what we
Yeah.
want to be working on. Maybe working more on the bridging components.
Yeah.
Changing the slide real quick. Can you see it?
Yep.
All right, awesome. Changing color so we can see it better. All right, so as you can see here, the vocal folds can be really open or really closed, right? In which case we get very different types of qualities. You've already understood it, but when we do a whisper, we have the vocal folds more open, hence why we get a more really whispery sound. And it sounds like almost like a ghost, right? Or, well, like a whisper, right? And very simply put, when we want to go from the whisper into, well, the mask voice that we are aiming for, we want to go from the whisper to a breathy sound. Oh, I lost it. From a whisper to a breathy sound into a balanced sound. And it kind of sounds like this. Right? So we have these three steps. The breathy step is kind of like the middle ground where you have like both a bit of the balanced sound and a bit of the whisper and together the breathy sound. And so it's important that we get this closure gradient right so that we can effectively go back and forth, but most importantly, so that we can really keep the whisper dark. One of the main issues that we can get here is maybe that your resonance is shooting back up to your higher resonance, right, to a smaller size. So you might have something like ah, and that leads to a more fem sound. So we'd want to keep the really consistent, so we keep a really hollow sound. It should feel like a yawn to you, like a yawn that you're holding down, basically. Actually, can you do a yawn on command? It's maybe hard to ask just like this out of the blue, but maybe if I yawn enough, you might get a yawn triggered. I'm so tired. Oh my god. Okay, close enough, close enough. So, you said that you can feel more or less the larynx. So, if you can take your hand and put it up to your neck, maybe you can feel the bump. And I want you to say the words pat on a whisper. And I want you, as you have your fingers up, to try and go low. So, pat, 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 pat. And I can feel my larynx go down. Right? That's what I want you to try and do. Have your hand IRL on your neck. Try to go from bright pat to dark pat. Give it a try. Okay, did you feel it go down or not so much?
Yeah, it goes down, but then it gets harder and harder to get any sound out.
Oh, does it feel like stuck or?
And not like stuck, but it's like, I don't know.
Squeezed, tensed? I'm trying to see what's going on. Mm. Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay, so Um, there's other ways you can practice the resonance. You can try and hold a sound. Try and match me here. Okay, and now try to make that sound darker, but not on the whisper, just on the balanced sound. So, oh. Try that out. Okay, it worked a little bit. I feel like I have heard you go much darker with the sentence, that mat Brad sat on that flat mat. Right? So I think there's definitely more exploration for you to do with the whispers, kind of like learn how it feels to have a really dark resonance, and try and practice the closure gradient from whispery to breathy to balanced. We didn't have the time to get into it, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's what I would recommend is keep practicing with whispers, try to do the yawns, try to do this vocalized version. Right, to kind of like explore the darkness in your voice, the darkness. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you.
All right. Best of luck with the voice work, and thank you for coming up stage. Applause for 3 a.m. snack. Hell yeah. I saw someone do a backflip. What? Okay. So, we are reaching time, so I will take 10 minutes to answer questions, but that will be for the people who stay in here. Alistair, yeah, I know you need to wrap it up, so we're going to wrap it up here. All right, so...
Yeah.
Okay, if you have the time, we can go for the Twitch question first. What's the question about?
All right, perfect. We have one question. I was just wondering how often one has to train their voice and for how long.
Very simple answer, as much as you can. More long answer, as much as you can, given the limitations of your voice dysphoria or how bad it makes you feel, perhaps. I don't know. Not everyone is equal in that regard. Some feel a lot of pain practicing their voice, and I mean mental pain, not specifically physical pain. But if you want to like follow a routine, I would say it kind of depends on how you work. Do you trust yourself to be focused on a long period of time? In which case I would say something like 25 to 30 minutes, if not up to an hour, if you really want to do it. I think anything above that is too much because you're not going to get any progress. You need some time to rest your voice and your mind in between practice sessions. But if you're someone who likes to, who is very easily distracted, then maybe it might be more worth it for you to kind of, practice maybe like 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, like 5 minutes when you're making food, 5 minutes when you're walking back home, 5 minutes here and there, right? Maybe 2 minutes even. Just the fact of kind of like bringing your voice back to the front of your mind, thinking of the components of it and of the sounds is a good way to go. So you have many ways to practice. Test different ways, long sessions, short sessions. The best is to do both, but practice in mindfulness that you don't want to burn yourself out. All right, hope that answers the question. Do you have any other question, Alistair?
We have one on Discord.
All right, I'll answer the question. Long sessions, short sessions.
I'm
their
not
way
really
to
able
work.
to train like
If you don't have the option to train in a car, then maybe have a friend IRL that you maybe can go hang out at, where you know it's not dangerous. But I also understand that this is not the option for everyone. All of the exercises we did here, especially the resonance exercises, can be done completely pat, 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 pat. Well, first of all, it's already quiet, but you're only using the whisper as a guideline to feel your larynx go down or pat, 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 pat. or your larynx go up. And so you can technically make the whisper completely silent if you want. Ha, right? And that's one of the reasons for why I can jump back and forth between ha, ha, is because the movement is not tied into the whisper. The whisper is just there for exploration. So you can try and do those whispered exercises, but completely quietly. It just rely on the feeling of your larynx. But yeah, eventually you're gonna have to find a place. So in the car, on the way home, not at your house if that's where it's causing the most trouble. Yeah, I hope that answers your question, and I hope that you can find places that are safe for you to practice in.